Jim Larrañaga, friend of the show for many years. He joins us every week on Thursdays. We talk a little college hoops or NBA or movies or whatever else he feels like talking about. And Jim Larrañaga is with us on the Toyota of Hollywood hotline. And I was talking to him off the air, and he's like, I'd love to talk about opening day, but you correct me if I'm wrong. You grew up in the Bronx, right? You're a Bronx guy. I mean, Yankees opening day had to be like religion where you were growing up.
Well, you guys crack me up. You don't even know the starting lineup, and for the Marlins, you're supposed to be Marlins fans. I can tell you the starting lineup for the Yankees back in 1960. Whitey Ford was on the mound. Yogi Berra, Moose Skowron, Bobby Richardson at second, Tony Kubek at shortstop, Clete Boyer at third base, Roger Maris in right, Mickey Mantle at center, and Hector Lopez. He was in the left field. So how can you not know the starting lineup for day one? The season's just beginning. There should be a lot of excitement.
I would like to say that that's an indictment on the Marlins not putting together a quality lineup, but it's really not. It's more of an indictment on our sports knowledge because I don't think any of us could name the first line for the Panthers. I don't think we could name the starting lineup for the Heat 2 nights ago against Golden State. We just happen to be a show that's devoid of a lot of knowledge.
Yeah, well, you do know the Heat won, and that was a terrific win. They sent Golden State Warriors home with an L. So I'm happy for that. They've won 2 in a row. They've got I wouldn't be surprised by the end of this month that they're on a 5-game winning streak. They got some teams ahead of them. If they continue to play well, they could be back making a run into the playoffs on a high note.
Coach, do you still keep up with the baseball? You still keep up with your Yanks, or
no?
It's a lot of life ahead of you.
No, that was 60, 70 years ago.
Is it similar? Because I always talk to you about the movie A Bronx Tale, which I think is a fantastic movie, and you've said, nah, it's whatever. But he would ride on the bus. Calodro would ride on the bus with Robert De Niro, and they would talk about the Yankees. I mean, doesn't that take you back?
Well, it does in one sense. That I was 10, 11, 12 years old while the Yankees were winning the World Series, and all my friends, of course, were into baseball. We didn't watch it. We listened to it on a transistor radio. Now, that's how crazy it was back then. There was no internet. You couldn't follow it on your phone like you can do now. But, baseball was the sport back when I was young. I became a basketball player because the Lakers and the Celtics were playing in the NBA Finals every year. And Jerry West and John Havlicek became my role models.
And Coach, as Hawk asked about A Bronx Tale, I gotta ask you because you're just you've been around, you've done so many things. Is it like the movies? I've never lived in New York. Do the Right Thing and A Bronx Tale and all that stuff. Like, what are your what I guess stereotypes about New York are right and wrong?
Yeah, I think they're all right. you watch the Godfather trilogy. Oh, that happened.
Yes, yeah.
Just go on Netflix and watch the John Gotti story, the Teflon Don. I mean, it's true. All the movies don't even have the capability of making it exactly the way it was because it was so brutal.
Let me ask you a couple of things that we were talking about. I got to bounce around here with you.
Yep.
We were talking in the first segment about LeBron James, the tip-in last night.
Yeah, great.
I'm attributing that to high basketball IQ to know that you have a millisecond to tip in and get your hand off that ball because they're going to look at it frame by frame. Crowder says that's a typical putback. He happened to be in the right spot, right time. Anyone can do that, right, Crowder? Coach. I'm not mischaracterizing it.
He boxed out his player and just tipped the ball back in. That wasn't an amazing play.
But I'm saying to know that the tip in, there's 1/10 of a second left on the clock after the missed shot by Luka, to know that it can't be your typical make sure you lay it in. Let's let Coach Larrañaga decide.
Well, my initial reaction when hearing it during the first segment was you're both right. First of all, players, especially the great players, they have a clock in their head as to how much time is left in the game and what they should be thinking. And, when the shot goes up, LeBron knows there's so little time left. That either shot goes in or you tip it in. You don't have time, obviously, to do this. Come down with a very strong rebound and power it up and still make it, a game-winning shot. No, you're going to have to tip this in if there's even time left. So it becomes very much an instinct, something that you've done over and over again. Okay, the game's winding down. We need this bucket. If the shot doesn't go in, I'm tipping this in. So LeBron did a great job.
Who do you think they were talking about this? They were debating this on ESPN. I think it was yesterday morning. Who goes further in the playoffs? Golden State with Steph and Jimmy, or the Lakers with LeBron and Luka?
Yeah. Yeah. Do you know one of the things about trades and everything, you're wondering how they'll work out. I think the Lakers are probably very well suited for a long series. I think Steph and Jimmy Butler are figuring that out. I like the Lakers' chances better. I think the Golden State Warriors have enough talent, but in a long series, I think you can figure it out. I think that the talent of a LeBron with Luka is going to pay dividends for the Lakers.
And Coach, with the age of those guys, because it's funny, we love LeBron. LeBron's 40. Me and LeBron are the same age. We're 40 plus, and Steph's old as hell too, Coach. Like that dynamic of those guys having this grinding season. How does Steve Kerr? How do they deal with it? Like with that the age thing, and the what's it called, the load management and all that stuff. But
yeah.
To that question with Hawk, where it's like, hey, these dudes are old as well. They're going to play another 12 game, 15 games, 21 games. Like, how do they deal with that with those players that are, I would say, in the sunset of their career?
Yeah, that's one of the things, because the playoffs are a long grind, and Jimmy Butler's not a young guy anymore either. So Luka Doncic, he's still a youngster. He's like 25, 26 years old. So I think that's an advantage. I think in the playoffs, though, one of the differences is you get time off in between games. You're not playing back to back. You're not jumping on your jet and flying to the next location. So I think for the older guys, they can manage their time and their bodies better during the playoffs. But as the playoffs continue, it's going to take its toll. I think LeBron he's a superhuman. I mean, there's nobody in the history of basketball at 40 years old. Kareem played until I think he was 42, but Kareem had his own unique style of play. LeBron does everything. He's handling the ball, he's shooting threes, he's driving to the basket, he's playing defense all over the court, switching on to smaller guards. So I think the Lakers are in good position to make a run.
Coach, there's this constant debate, probably a larger discussion, but about the state of basketball. Mid-range is almost discouraged, especially at the NBA level. It's all drive and kick, hunt for mismatches, get to the rim, and shoot corner threes. Do you have any concerns about the state of the game, or how it's evolved, or how it's evolving?
Well, I think the game itself is pretty healthy. I think there's going to be, some discussion about rule changes at the college level. I will be very surprised if the college game doesn't go to 4 quarters soon, because no other basketball league plays halves. The women play 4 quarters. Europe plays 4 quarters. The NBA plays 4 quarters. G League plays 4 quarters. So I wouldn't be surprised if we go to 4 quarters and a 24-second clock. I think that'll be typical. But I'm very, very concerned about college basketball becoming professional basketball without having the professional basketball guidelines, the rules. I think if college basketball is going to survive the NIL and the portal, they need to have a really specific set of rules, antitrust rules, laws that allow colleges to have some transparency. It's great that the kids are being paid, They should make a salary. It should be employment, just like an NBA guy.
And Coach Solana, it's crazy you asked that question because I thought about it last night. Last night, Coach, I was watching Bol, who's 8'9" somewhere, and he kept shooting from the outside. Are big guys like Kendall? Is there big guys ever again? Like it's funny what you bring up, Kareem. Like the Kareems, the Shaqs, the guys that get down there and grind in the paint. Is that gone from basketball? Because threes are more points than twos, obviously.
Well, three is more than two, but the whole key is the ball going in the basket. Solana said that, the mid-range games is non-existent anymore. Well, if you make a foul line jump shot, that's 2 points. You make a layup, it's 2 points. Now, if you hit the three, okay, you get an extra point for that. But I think, like, I work with my grandsons. I talk to my grandsons. I talk to my college players throughout. I think you should have an all-around game. Your game should include threes, free throws, mid-range shots, driving layups, back to the basket. Big guys don't want to play with their back to the basket. The big guys want to shoot threes. They're envious of the guards because the guards bring the ball up and just jack a three. Big guys want to do that. And it's become the popular thing to do, and it's all because of analytics. All the analytics experts say, hey, you should shoot more threes because a three is worth more than two. Well, that's great if you make them. But the other day, I can't remember, I think it was St. John's versus Arkansas. Both teams went like 2 for 19 from three. Oh, but I know you guys, hey, Crowder, I know you're pulling for the Gators today, huh? They got a big matchup with the Terps. Solana's got the Terps. So my really good friend, Ralph Willard, his son is the coach. Kevin Willard is the coach of the Maryland Terrapins. But I'm an in-state Florida guy, so the Gators, nah. So here's my response. Yeah, I want them both to lose.
Just pulled the rug out from under you.
Come on, Coach.
Just
completely
the only team I ever cheer for is Miami.
Yeah.
Everybody else can lose.
You have to. I mean, it was really almost 2 years ago to the day that the Sweet 16 started, and you ended up taking the Hurricanes to the Final Four. Does it feel like a lifetime ago? Does it feel like 2 years ago? Does it still give you chills thinking about it?
No, it feels like today because when you flip on the social media, I was watching the highlights of our win over Houston and over Texas to get to the Final Four. I was reliving the whole scenario and loving it. The announcers listening to the excitement in the place, watching our players jump on each other and smile. One of the players giving me a kiss on the cheek. I was like, this is awesome.
That was heaven.
Coach,
that was absolute heaven.
And Coach, as they're going through it, you've been through it, like you say, you've been to the Final Four. Like the build up to it, the players, the coaching, what does it go through to go to the 32, to the 16, to the 8, to the 4? Like, what's that process mentally and physically on the kids?
Yeah, I think that the biggest thing, and this is an expression all coaches use, mental is to physical as 4 is to 1. Meaning the mental part of the game is 4 times more important than the physical. Every team in the Sweet 16 today is physically talented enough to win tonight and tomorrow. But how are you mentally? Are you feeling good? Are you going to be able to control your emotions? If you saw in the game the other day where UConn lost in a heartbreaker, the emotions that both teams were feeling, one team is celebrating, and the other team is just shot. I mean, just the fire went out. They can't believe they're no longer playing. And after you win 2 national championships in a row, you can understand their emotion. You can understand players crying, coaches upset. It's just the nature. It's what makes March Madness the best sporting event for 3 weeks in the world.
I don't think anyone would argue that. It is opening day, and we got to let you go, Coach. And you're a movie buff, though. What's the greatest baseball movie of all time? Is it Field of Dreams?
No, in my in my mind, it's like Major League with Tom Hanks.
Really?
Oh, I love that movie because
Well, no, Tom Hanks is and who's Major League?
oh no,
Major
a league
League
of
is,
a league of our own.
League
A
of their
league of
own.
our
League
own.
of
A league of their
Not
own.
Major
League,
League,
the
but
best baseball movie
Baseball.
ever.
There's
What?
no crying in baseball.
Some of the stuff that could. Tom Hanks, did he win the Academy Award for that role? He
Oh, I
deserved
hope
it. The
not.
guy was amazing.
Really? Better
Yeah.
than Field of Dreams.
Yeah,
Field of Dreams, kind of lame.
I
Hawk.
like Field of Dreams. Don't get me wrong, and I think Kevin Costner is a tremendous actor as well. But the concept, okay, Field of Dreams is kind of like every little kid's dream growing up to play in the major leagues and the way that whole story is told. I never knew anything about women's baseball during World War II. Did you?
And I still haven't seen the movie, so I still don't know anything
Oh,
about it.
you know, the story of these women coming together and what they were going through at that time, you know, the whole concept of women's baseball blew my mind.
I can't even imagine that's a top 5 Tom Hanks movie of all time. let
Oh yeah, no,
alone
Tom Hanks
top
is
baseball movie
tremendous.
of all time.
That might even be top 5 because he's done so many great movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, Jim Larrañaga, we love talking to you, Coach, on Thursdays. We always appreciate your time, and we are rooting hard against the Gators with you tonight, Coach.
What is
All
going
right.
on? What's
See you guys.
See you, Coach. Coach Jim Larrañaga. He pulled the rug out from right under you. He laid it up there and then swatted it away.
Hawk, man, yo, you got to stop doing these pre-interview talks because I think you swayed him a certain way.